friends. Hope you're doing well. So today we have strawberry Zevia. Hashtag Zevia. And today we are going to talk about, I'm just going to say one of my favorite filmmakers, but I feel like by saying Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite filmmakers, that like makes me like a film bro, and it makes me, I don't know, because people like, everybody like the film schools are always like, who's your favorite filmmaker? And it's like Christopher Nolan or Tarantino, and you're like, okay. They're just, I guess they're really good at what they do, so it's hard, but then also like, you get lumped into this fan club. So, at the risk of lumping myself into the fan club, today we are going to talk about Quentin Tarantino's 10 movies so far, and I'm going to rank them. So, if you're unfamiliar, Quentin Tarantino has written and directed 10 movies. He's also written a couple other ones. He has a story by credit on Natural Born Killers, and a story by credit on, I want to say it's From Dusk Till Dawn, and he wrote a film called Modern Romance but did not direct it. I haven't seen that one, but I have seen Natural Born Killers. I have not seen From Dusk Till Dawn. I haven't seen that one yet. That's on my list. I believe that's Robert Rodriguez, who him and Tarantino are good buddies, and they have a very similar kind of, not style or aesthetic or like thought process, but like, there's something about their films that are very gritty, and they're good. So those are both two good directors to look into. Anyway, we're talking about Tarantino today. So if you're not familiar, here's the list of his films. I got it here on the phone. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, which is technically one movie. Tarantino made it so it was supposed to be one movie, but then it was so long, he split it into two movies. And there is a fan edit out there called The Whole Bloody Affair, which me and my girlfriend watched tonight, and it's 4 hours long, but it puts both films together, rearranges a couple little bits, adds back in some deleted scenes, moves some stuff around. It's a pretty good reimagination of the film. I recommend it. So again, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1 and 2, Death Proof, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, I'm gonna just come flying out the gate here and say I feel like there's two types of Quentin Tarantino movie. There is the type that kind of like oscillates with like tension release, and the one that does that best is Inglourious Basterds. And then there's also a second type of Tarantino movie that just straight ratchets up the tension to like a big wha-cha at the end. And then there's also a theory that I like, is that there's two types of Quentin Tarantino movies. There's like the Quentin Tarantino Cineverse, if for lack of a better term, and then there's movies that those characters would watch. So, for example, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like a film, like that's a real life in the Quentin Tarantino world, and then Inglourious Basterds is like a film that those characters would go watch, and you could see that because there's like some references to it, as Leonardo DiCaprio's character is like in like a version of Inglourious Basterds. So that's kind of like a fun little thing to like think about. Anyway, so let's just get straight on to ranking these things. I'm gonna start last place first, and I'm gonna say for me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it was long, and I did not particularly care for it. I've only seen it once. I saw it in theaters. I've seen actually a lot of these in theaters, but I'm gonna put that one in last place. It was like really long, and it ratchets up the tension, and there's some good moments. It's not a bad film. It's just, I don't think that's his best film by far. It's just like there's too much of the nothing's really happening, and then it all happens, and I feel like the payoff at the end is not really worth all the build up. Like, in another movie that's like that is The Hateful Eight, but the build up is a lot better, and you get a much more satisfying payoff. So I'm gonna put that one in last place. Second place for that for me is Kill Bill 2. I'm gonna put that one in there because I feel like Kill Bill 1 comes straight out the gate, and it's so violent, and it has the action, and then it backfills like only what you need to know. And then I feel like Kill Bill 2 then is like all the explanations and kind of the draw out of everything. And the pace is so much slower. And then I think there's some things that happen in it that I don't care for. Just like plot points, like the way things play out. It's not as satisfying. And so Kill Bill 1 is a much more satisfying film. It's a lot more violent. The pace is better. And it's just, I don't know, it hits all the beats for me and a lot better. Kill Bill 2 just doesn't do it. So I want to put that one in 9th place. Moving right on to 8th place. I'm going to say for 8th place, Reservoir Dogs. Just because that's like his first film. His first real film. His first actual film is like My Friend's Birthday Party or something like that. It's on YouTube. You can find it. But maybe the version I watched like had some weird splicing or changes in it because it didn't make a lot of sense and it was kind of shitty. So I don't really recommend going to look it up because it feels very like student film, no budget. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but I guess it's a film. So Reservoir Dogs is good. It has its moments, and it has that kind of ratchet to the big build-up, and the big build-up is a good build-up. It's just, for me, it's not that this one's a bad one. It's just that every other film is better, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put Reservoir Dogs there. So that's 8th. Number 7. I'm just winging this, by the way. I probably should have wrote notes, and I am not writing any notes, just winging it. Number 7 for me, I'm gonna go from there, Hateful Eight, because that was another one where it's a slow ratchet to the big payoff, and the payoff there is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think that's a good film there. And it just, like, the cinematography is really good. But that's why I'm actually digging this one, is the cinematography. There's a lot of stuff where, like, Tarantino was like, CinemaScope, super style. And if I could have seen the road show of, like, the triple projection, like the ultra wide, I might have liked it better. But there was, like, a lot of gratuitous shots of, like, look. And it's like, okay, well, on the regular ass movie theater screen and at my house, that's a lot less impressive, and it just kind of like, maybe you cut those out for that version, I don't know. So the film is a lot longer than it needs to be because it shows all these like whoa moments, but it's still good. The acting's great, and the payoff's great. Following up on that, number 6, I'm going Jackie Brown. That's just like a good one. It's just, I think of all the films, I feel like Jackie Brown is the least Tarantino film of all the Tarantino films. It doesn't have the same vibe, because like a lot of the Tarantino films are, I feel like they're grindhousey, and Jackie Brown's more like a blaxploitation film, and it's not a bad film. There's a lot of good actors. There's a lot of good moments in it. It just is, maybe that one should almost be, it's not a bad film. There's just every other film is better. So moving on to number 5, I'm gonna go put, what should be a number 5? Oh man, now it's getting tough. I'm gonna go Death Proof. Death Proof is another good film. It's another one that ratchets, builds up to a big crescendo, and the crescendo is fucking sweet. I love the ending of that film. But again, it's one of those films that, because it ratchets for me, I feel like the films that are that constantly ratchet and then have the big payoff at the end aren't nearly as satisfying as the oscillation ones. You know, because like Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, Django oscillate, whereas these other ones they just ratchet, and then it's like if you are constantly ratcheting, eventually people's attention spans drop, and you don't get to the payoff. You get bored before the payoff. So that's why Death Proof is going number 5. But the ending of that film is fucking sweet. And it's a good film. I recommend it. Okay, 4. So now we are really down to... What we got left? We got Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards, Django. Man, that's tough. That's a tough list of 4. Those are definitely my top 4. Well, obviously, I was just fucking rambling. I think for me, number 4, I'm gonna put Django. That's a great film. It's got a lot of great moments. It's got a lot of good lines. Jamie Foxx fucking kills it. Christoph Waltz fucking kills it. The scenes with Jonah Hill and Miami Vice guy. Why can't I think of his name? I want to say like Jeff something. He's in Miami Vice. He's the Big Daddy. But that whole sequence is just chef's kiss. It's some of my favorite in cinema. I think. That one's just so good. But like these other ones are just like really stupid good. That like at this point, really once you get to these top 4, like there's no wrong answer here. So with that said, moving on to number 3. For me, I'm gonna go Kill Bill at number 3. I think, just because it is. It's got so much good. It's hyper violent. It hits the beats. The pacing's right. Like it's like the most Tarantino of all the Tarantino movies. It's very kung fu heavy. There's so much homages, and it starts right out the gate. It's fucking a great film, and I remember seeing it in theaters and being like, "Fuck me, this is great." But at the same time, I can't remember if it was Kill Bill 1 or Kill Bill 2 that I saw in theaters. And there was a guy sitting in front of us who answered his phone, and not only did he answer his phone, he said like, "Who dis?" Which I know that's a fucking Mike Birbiglia joke, but this actually happened to me too. Mike Birbiglia, it's that's what Mike Birbiglia's joke is. Like he was literally willing to talk to anybody, but it was great because he's like, "Who dis?" And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm busy. I'm watching Kill Bill." He was there by himself. It's like, what the fuck? Why did you answer your phone? And I know this is like 2003 or 2002 or whenever Kill Bill came out. And that, caller ID was not as good on cell phones back then if you didn't have one. But still, it's just like some fucking rude ass motherfucker. It was still funny. But then later, that guy fell asleep. So we must have been watching Kill Bill 2, because I don't know how you'd fall asleep watching Kill Bill 1. Anyway, so yeah, Kill Bill goes in the number 3 spot. Number 4, or number 2, number 2. This is hard. I'm going Pulp Fiction for number 2, and the only reason it's Pulp Fiction is number 2 is because I've seen it so many times, which is a stupid reason to put it, because it's still good every time I watch it. I watched it a couple weeks ago, and it had been a while since I watched it, and I tell you, it's still a fucking great film, because it has those beats. So does Kill Bill. Kill Bill has those beats, and Django has those beats. Django's beats are, I think what it is for me is that Django's beats are slower. Kill Bill's are a little faster. Pulp Fiction's are a lot faster. But then number 1, Inglourious Bastards, is like every sequence, every scene ends with like a fucking crescendo. That's so good. And then it's a period piece. And just the tension, the draw, Christoph Waltz does amazing. Fucking, Brad Pitt does amazing. God, who else? else is in that film. There's so many good stars in that film. You're just like, fuck me. Like, that film, Inglourious Basterds, that's one of my favorite films. And the funny thing is, I saw Inglourious Basterds, and I went in because the trailer made it seem like it was Kill Bill. It was going to be hyper violent, which it kind of is. But I remember going, and it was after my band had played a show, and I was tired, and I think I had had a few to drink, but not in the sense that like, oh, I'm like fun party time, because I was already tired. Like, I worked all day. My band, we practiced, played the show. I had a couple drinks, and then it was like when the drinks kicking in, you're like, I just want to go home and fucking go to sleep. But we went and saw Inglourious Basterds anyway. And I remember being like, this movie's boring. And now I feel like a fucking idiot, because that movie is my favorite Tarantino movie. Number one, without a doubt, it's definitely Inglourious Basterds. I know the top 4 is up for debate, but number 1 is for sure Inglourious Basterds. 100%. That's what I'm sticking to. And so, once again, if you need my list, number 10, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 9, Kill Bill Volume 2. Number 8, Reservoir Dogs. Number 7, Hateful Eight. Number 6, Jackie Brown. Number 5, Death Proof. Number 4, Django Unchained. Number 3, Kill Bill Volume 1. Number 2, Pulp Fiction. And of course, number 1, Inglourious Basterds. So there you have it. That is my Tarantino films ranked. I'm real excited to see what his next 2. Apparently he's got 2 in development. I'm excited to see what those are like. Hopefully they are more in oscillation shape and less in the ratchet to snapping, because his last 2, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Hateful Eight, were his last 2. What was the one before that? Django, I think, right? Yeah. They were both ratchets to snaps, and I like the oscillations better. We're due for an oscillation one, Tarantino. If you're watching this, give me this. The hand stuff. Give me the hand stuff. No more focusing on the feet. I'm the Tarantino of hands. Can I make that my ASMR? I'm the Tarantino of hands. Gratuitous hand shots. Oh, ASMR. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.